Jadana White, why did I say that? Jadana Marie over on Killer Flicks posted this. And I got a chuckle out of it. It was really funny. And I never even thought about this, but you were important in the first movie, but F you in the sequel, starter pack, you know? And so she already gave us like 3 of them right there, but we're going to go through them. Okay. All right, here's a perfect example. Newt and Hicks, integral parts of Aliens. Really great. You fell in love with both those characters by the end of the movie. It was going to be this big happy family. And I think that's what Michael Biehn and Sigourney Weaver were hoping for in the next movie. But, and by the way, Neil Blomkamp he wrote a script with Newt and Hicks in it, and they were going to be one big happy family. And it was going to be a sequel. It was going to ignore Alien 3 and all the other Alien movies, right? So Alien 3 comes out, directed by David Fincher, and it's a different story with Ripley in a prison setting. And right away, we got a discard of these 2 characters. So what do? We have a nice little spaceship crash, and they are screwed up to smithereens. All right, and you get to see like a little bit of them. And by the way, Chaos, what's up, brother? He says, I just got here and have no idea what is going on. Well, this is the very first one. We're talking about FU in the sequel. You'll get the idea as we go along, okay? You'll get the idea. Okay, so they are just completely... I was going to say, Michael Biehn got paid more for them to use his image in Alien 3 than all of his partaking in of Aliens, okay? He made more money in Alien 3 than he did in Aliens, and he's not even in the movie, all right? So, thank you, Jazzle G. Okay. All right, so next one. Guys, what's that guy's name? I always forget his name, okay? But the reason I didn't put Corey Feldman was because this was supposed to be an adult Tommy. So Corey Feldman doesn't really fit into this category. But this is an adult Tommy, so technically he should have carried forward to part 6. But instead, he just didn't... He really didn't do much in the movie. I don't think Tommy... I think it was just a different version of Tommy, okay? This was a really screwed up version of Tommy that was almost... Like, you want your characters to be a little zany and psychotic, but you don't want them to be too zany and psychotic and almost depressing. Like, he was just very depressing throughout the whole movie. John Shepard. Thank you very much. John Shepard. So, let's inject some vigor and some fun and some adrenaline into the franchise. And they do that in every single way imaginable with part 6, Jason Lives. The movie is fantastic. It's so damn fun. It doesn't take itself so damn seriously. And then you got Tom Matthews just slaying it as Tommy Jarvis, You bang. So he got effed in the sequel. All right? So, yeah, he fits into this category. There's a couple of different ways you can fit into this category. It's not just you get killed early in the next movie. This could fit in. Would you guys agree with that? This kind of fits in that category, okay? All right. And by the way, I got a lot of these off of Instagram. I posted this on Instagram, and I got quite a few. You guys were just like throwing quite a few great examples. And you did my homework for me. So I got to give a lot of my Instagram followers some credit on this. All right. Next one. This one. Guys, get your tissues ready. Okay, get your tissues ready. Here we go. Boom. There you go. What is it, guys? What is it about? Does Scream 2 have Hot Randy? Like, Randy's hot in Scream 2, but he's not in the other movies. You know what I mean? He has that look of like the hot guy, in Scream 2. What is it? Maybe it's the weight loss, the little bit of tan, the goatee. Am I right, guys, or am I wrong? Or what am I talking about here? Okay. Scream 2 has hot Mickey. Well, Mickey's always hot though. I mean, he's freaking Timothy Olyphant. I guarantee they regret killing off Randy because he was such a beloved character, and just the way he goes too. He just dragged into a van and stabbed to death, and they don't even really show it. So. It's very unceremonious, and it's really sad. And he's such a strong character that the character lives on. Like, even in the last movie, So yeah, Randy breaks our freaking heart, right? Okay, next one. I'm not a Phantasm. I guess I'm not even like a big Phantasm fan. I like them; they're okay. I haven't even seen the fifth one, but I almost said A. Michael Baldwin, but that's Halloween 6. What's his name? It's Michael. Is it Baldwin? No, it's not Michael Baldwin. I forgot his name. You guys are going to tell me though in just a second. I know it. He was in the first movie. And then he got completely screwed, and they just hired this other guy in the second movie. And he was pretty butthurt about that too, which I don't blame him. But, and then to make matters even worse, Michael A. Baldwin. Oh my God, is that true? To make matters even worse, Phantasm 2 is arguably like the best movie of the franchise. So that's got to really sting, you know? I mean, everybody was firing on all cylinders. It's kind of like the one-up sequel. But yeah, just a shame, you know. He wasn't, like, I think that picture kind of summarizes how he felt about it, you know. But they did bring him back in later movies. But the other movies, unfortunately, weren't that good. So, all right, next one, another Michael. Underworld, okay? Underworld, Michael. He had such a massive role in the first two movies. And the third movie, they did like this prequel, so it didn't even have Celine and Michael in it. So everybody was like, they were, patiently awaiting the return of Celine and Michael. And then here comes Underworld Awakening, and Scott Speedman basically wasn't coming back. I think that's what it was, is he just didn't want to come back to the role. So they had to discard the character like almost immediately, but he still kind of existed, I think, throughout the movie. I don't know if that was just because they were hoping to get him back in the next movie, but it ain't happening. So yeah, it sucks too, because he was just a really interesting character, because he was like a hybrid, you know. He was a hybrid werewolf and a vampire and a liger. But no, I'm just kidding. He wasn't part liger. But yeah, Kyle, I agree with you. I always wanted Michael to come back, but it didn't happen. So yeah, I came up with that one by myself, though, guys. Nobody mentioned Michael, but I remembered him. All right, next one. Here you go. What do you think about that, guys? Jamie Lee Curtis has been in so many of these movies that she qualifies for this category, which is unfair almost. It's kind of silly, but she's the star of H2O, but I think in the contract they said, okay, we'll put you in H2O, but we have to fuck you in the sequel. And that's what they do. They kill her. I think that was her thing, actually. I think she said, kill me off so you can get me the hell out of here, because I got an appointment and I have to be there by 9. So they got her the hell out of there. And then she went to her Activia appointment. Okay. I'm having too much fun with you guys. F you in the sequel. Laurie Strode. Okay. Next one. Get your tissues ready. Okay. Here we go. Joey and Kincaid. Right? I remember, like, if you guys have seen the Nightmare documentary, you know that the guy that plays Kincaid, he's like, he told all his friends, now when you go see this movie in the theater, don't get up, don't go to the bathroom, don't go get some snacks, just park your ass right there, because if you do that, when you get back, I will be dead. Like, they got rid of him, boom, just like that. And then right after that, they got rid of Joey. It was like a 1-2 punch, you know? It's almost like, why would you get rid of legacy characters that are very likable? Like, people loved those characters. So, but I guess you can't have, it's a Freddy movie, so you can't have the same characters in every movie. But it's just funny how that quickly they're discarded. Was, if you'll notice, like, a theme here too, like, most of these movies are, I think, like 80s, like in the 80s, they were cranking out sequel after sequel after sequel. And a lot of times they had leftovers, they had actors that for some reason were still around. So like, oh shit, what do we got to do? We got to get rid of them, let's kill them off. And that's what they did. Whereas these days, I think they're a little bit more crafty about it, and they just don't even carry them over. They just crop up a whole new set of characters, or they do like a trilogy, kind of like they did in the David Gordon Green trilogy. You know, I think they're smarter about it now, but it's kind of funny to think back on this stuff, you know? Guys, tell me, does this qualify? Because you can get fucked in the sequel even if you're not in the sequel, okay? Because you had Jesse, who I think was a great character. I love Jesse. I think Jesse was awesome in part 2. Yeah, I know Mark Patton had a really painful, bad experience. By the way, guys, I just rewatched the Mark Patton documentary, Nightmare. What is it called, guys? I think it's called Nightmare on My Street or something like that. My Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that. That is a really great documentary. I've seen it a couple times. And he didn't really have a good time on the set. Even the director was like, you seemed out of it when you were on set. And it's funny, like he's such a good actor that even behind the scenes, he didn't really gel with everybody, but he ends up being, giving this great performance. In the next movie, part 3, Jesse is nowhere to be found. And Jesse lives at the end of part 2, right? Doesn't he? I think he does, yeah. So, yeah, no Jesse in part 3. So he kind of got screwed in the sequel, all right? I think we got a couple more here. Okay, here we go. This one really broke my heart. Just because and this is controversial, but I prefer Ellie Cornell over Jamie Lee Curtis. I love the character of Rachel so much. The way she protected Jamie. Yeah, Rachel was just such a great character, you know. And I think that's part of the problem. I wouldn't have minded it so much if she was just kind of a stock, almost throwaway type character, but she was really fantastic in part 4. So it sucks that they killed her off, and they were gonna actually put the scissors in her mouth, and she talked them down, and you know, so she got kind of a respectable death. But yeah, it just sucks because I would have loved if Rachel lived, but then we wouldn't have got Tina, right? Oh boy, that's another rabbit hole we could go down. But I don't know. Could Tina and Rachel have existed together in the same movie, or would that have overcrowded the movie? I don't know. What do you guys think? Soft and Tina, that's a beautiful way to put it. She was soft and strong at the same time. Oh my God, you are so right. You are so right. You know, she wasn't this ultimate badass type character. No, it wasn't that at all. So, next one, Crazy Ralph. It's got a death curse. He gets killed in part 2. I think like midway through or something like that. And Crazy Ralph is an extremely important character. He literally like kind of created that whole Harbinger of Doom. I'm sure there's Harbinger of Doom characters that predated Crazy Ralph, but I think when you think of Harbinger of Doom, Crazy Ralph's like the first thing that comes in your mind. The movies are so adored. He was part of that formula, I think. It's got a death curse. Here you go, guys. This is the only case I think where it's like fuck you in the same movie, because guys, I love Halloween Ends to Death. As much as I love Halloween Ends to Death, I can still acknowledge its faults, okay? They did spend the whole movie building up this Corey character, which I personally loved. I was really in that journey. So much so that it kind of broke my heart when they killed him. And I was like, whoa, what? That you're going to kill him? No. So they killed Corey, but is he dead? You know, there could be a case made because, you know, the rule in horror. If there isn't a body bag being zipped up, then all bets are off. And so I like to think that Corey is still alive, you know, because we do know that he did have Myers' powers. So, or a form of the evil, those powers. And if the head's not chopped off, then, it's fair game. Okay. And, I choose to believe Corey's still alive. Next one. Alex from Final Destination. Really, he was the center character in the first movie. He's not even in the second movie. But there's a small moment where they kind of address him in the second movie, and he, I think what qualifies him for this is that he lived. And not only did he live, but his life was in danger. The whole point of the movie was him fighting death, and he wins. He fights death, and he wins. And then they address him. Actually, at the end of the movie, he ends up getting hit. Doesn't he end up getting hit? No, it's the other guy that ends up getting hit by that sign. But yeah, he ended up dying anyway, in the second movie without even being seen. Last one, and I think it might be the number one of this countdown, is Alice. And for, I guess, kind of the same reasons as Alex in Final Destination, because, she faces Pamela Voorhees head on. She decapitates her, chops her fucking head off. They didn't kill her at the end of the movie. They killed her at the beginning of the next movie, kind of like what they did with Rachel. This might be, I wonder if this is the first time they ever did that. If they killed the final girl at the beginning of the very next movie. Could this be the first time they've ever done that? It can't be, right? There has to be. I mean, if you think back, it didn't happen to Laurie Strode. It didn't happen to Sally from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It didn't happen in Black Christmas. I can't think of it. This might be the very first time that has ever happened. Oh my God. Thank you, Carly. Jamie would qualify from part 6 because, she lives through 4 and 5 all the way through. And then she's killed pretty early on in part 6. And to make matters even worse, they recast her. Daniel Harris wanted the role. So I can't believe I didn't even think of that. That's a great example, Carly. Thank you. Yeah. You're at the end of the video. What's up, guys? Thank you for watching this DD Live clip. What that is after I do a live stream, I usually cover news items or just topical type stuff, or sometimes even reviews, top 10s, whatever. And I clip them out for your convenience so you can get bite-sized episodes from the live stream. So now that you're at the end, you can look over here or here somewhere, and you can click on the playlist that I have for the DD Live clips, and then you can watch other episodes. There's probably at least like 50 of them by now, maybe 100, who knows. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Love you.